Hey, what's up, guys? Long Island Audit here, back again with another video. Today, I am extremely excited and proud to announce we, the people, we did it together. We have won. Let's get into it. All right, guys. So I'm so excited. I'm gonna have this big smile on my face the whole time we're talking here. I really appreciate each and every one of you. So the win that we're speaking about today, I know that it's let me change over here. I know that a lot of you aren't familiar with it. This happened last May of 2021. I was about 1 or 2 months into auditing, and I went to the Waterbury Post Office in Waterbury, Connecticut, exercising my First Amendment right peacefully, like I normally do. I was arrested for criminal trespass. My cell phone was seized, as well as my GoPro was seized from me. Until this day, I have not received those my property back. So that's very concerning. But just to remind you guys, for those of you who weren't subscribed back then, I know some of you were, some of you know exactly what I'm talking about. But I'm gonna before I read the judge's decision with all of you, super excited to do. I want to remind you guys that I fought from the very beginning. As soon as I was arrested, I filed internal affairs complaints. I went to City Hall. I even, tried to speak with the mayor. You take a look at this video right here.
Mr. Mayor, hi, nice to meet you, sir. I'm sorry to bother you like this. I was unlawfully arrested yesterday, and my phone and my GoPro was seized from me for a trespass, sir. This is a serious matter, sir.
You gonna talk to the police chief about it?
He won't release my phone to me. I'm from New York.
No.
I'm from New York.
I'm the mayor, not the police chief.
But you can advise the police chief to. It's an unlawful arrest,
The
sir.
mayor does not advise the police chief. The mayor.
Does he work at your behest?
Have a nice day.
Does he work at your behest?
Have a nice day, my friend.
I'm coming inside, sir.
All right, sir.
What does pointing your finger mean? What does that mean?
All right, guys. So as you saw, I tried to speak with Mayor Neil O'Leary and inform him, listen, I was unlawfully arrested. My property was seized from me. My property was seized from me on a simple trespass charge. I was not charged with anything else. I was charged with criminal trespass. Why do you need to seize my GoPro and my business cell phone for a criminal trespass? What is the purpose of that? A criminal trespass is being in an area you've been ordered to leave, being on property you were ordered to leave, and you didn't leave. So obviously, the police, they were there. They know what happened. They don't need, my cell phone and my GoPro. They took it out of spite. They stole it from me because they could. They legally stole it from me. They got a warrant right after, and as soon after I was arrested, they went and applied for a warrant to download my entire phone and to copy the SD card on my GoPro. And yet, still, after doing that, after getting this warrant, they still didn't give it back to me. So, again, for those of you just joining, I was arrested last May when I first started the Waterbury Post Office. I was charged with criminal trespassing. I immediately tried to get a hold of the mayor. I even protested right here. This is back when I first started. I protested outside of the mayor's office. I mean, outside of City Hall, and I had this sign that said, "Your mayor is corrupt. Ask me why." And I stood out there for about an hour or two, just trying to get somebody to hear my story. This is before I had we the people were 220,000 strong just on YouTube, almost 50,000 on Facebook, 55,000 on TikTok. So now we are much stronger, united together. But at the time, I didn't have much subscribers. I wasn't getting that many views, but I went and I fought. I'm not from Connecticut. As you know, I'm from Long Island. I stood out in Connecticut for days and days trying to fight to get my property back, to get these charges dropped. I spoke to the prosecutor, nothing, right? So I want to shout out Keith, my good friend Keith, Northeast Auditor, just to show you the tyranny that is in Waterbury. Just to give you an example really quick. He was arrested outside of the Waterbury Police Department because he wouldn't identify himself because he was taking pictures. Let's take a look at his video. I'm going to link all these videos and documents I'm about to talk about in the description.
I haven't performed any illegal activity. Can you articulate a crime I've committed, or
Reasonable suspicion.
of what crime?
I don't know if you're about to blow up the building, if you're setting
Well, can you articulate a crime I've committed?
You're videotaping secure areas of the police.
That's not a crime. So I'm gonna need you to let me know what crime I've committed.
Reasonable suspicion. You do not have to commit a crime.
Okay, am I being detained right now, or am I free to go?
Yes.
Okay, on what, under what suspicion of what crime?
Reasonable suspicion. I don't know.
Are you sure about this?
I'm positive.
Okay.
So this is gonna go one of-
I would ask for a supervisor to come out at this point because. Okay. Well,
provide identification or not.
I'm not providing any identification. I've done nothing wrong.
Your back, you're being detained.
Okay, that's fine.
I'm gonna hold the camera.
Yeah, please don't turn it off.
All right. So my friend Keith, Northeast auditor, he was arrested outside of the police department in Waterbury for taking pictures and video on a public sidewalk. Can you believe, if you can believe that? He was arrested for taking pictures and video on a public sidewalk. It completely insane. But the worst part about it is he had the same judge. So this happened before my arrest. He had the same judge as mine that I had, Judge Joseph Schwartz. And you would think filming on a public sidewalk, that's common knowledge. You're allowed to film on a public sidewalk. You don't have to identify yourself to the police. I think he was charged with interfering, and the prosecutor, Waterbury State's Attorney's Office, also very corrupt. They seized his cell phone and camera, and they had that for over a year, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. This city is filled with complete and utter tyrants, from the state's attorney to the mayor to the police department. The mayor actually used to be the police chief, but he had to fight his case. He actually got an attorney and filed a motion to dismiss. His motion to dismiss was denied. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine filing a motion to dismiss a case because you were filming on a public sidewalk and you were arrested because you didn't want to identify yourself? And then you file that motion to dismiss. The charges should have been dropped by the state's attorney, but then you think, okay, let me file my motion to dismiss, got my expensive attorney, and the judge still denies it. Are you kidding me? I don't understand. So when I had the same judge as him, he actually came out and we, did a live stream in front of Waterbury, Connecticut, Superior Court. And I'll link all those videos in the description below. But, it was crazy. So I'm like, oh, I got the same judge. I'm definitely screwed here. So I'm representing myself pro se in this case. But before I get to the judge's decision, let's look at the Waterbury case incident report here. So I was arrested at the Waterbury on the Waterbury Post Office on May 9th, 2021. They were called by a supervisor, Diana Rodriguez. Rodriguez, who is a postal supervisor, stated she was alerted by Vera Irvin, who is a postal clerk, that there is a Hispanic male, later identified as Sean Paul Reyes, videotaping the interior of the post office. Rodriguez stated that Reyes was putting his cell phone past the glass on the front clerk window. So I wanted you to read that, and that I was exercising my First Amendment rights. So they're making it seem that the problem that they had with me was that I was filming behind the counter. They put that in a sworn statement on a police report. I'm filming behind the counter. Now, I don't have the video to show you guys right now, the arrest video, because I'm out of state right now. You can see I'm in a hotel. I'm out of state auditing. But as soon as I get back to Long Island, I will be going to Waterbury and picking up my cell phone and my GoPro. And I will be uploading the video for all of you guys to see. That postal supervisor lied on a police report and said that I was putting my phone physically behind the counter. Complete and utter lies. I did not do that. I have video evidence to prove I did not reach over the counter and put my phone over the counter, behind the counter. Never happened. Have you ever seen me do that in audit? No, because I would never do that. That doesn't make any sense. So, they're asserting these lies, and that's why, the Postal Service is going to get a federal tort claim against them as well. I'll be suing the federal post office because of their lies on a police report, I was charged criminal trespass They made it seem that I was doing something that I wasn't. If any one of us regular people, not public servants, were to lie on a official police report, we would 100% be charged. No doubt about it. We would be charged. But yet, where's the accountability for this postal supervisor and the clerk who lied about me? The only accountability will be in federal court, and I'll be seeing them there soon, because I know the Waterbury Police Department isn't going to issue a warrant for her arrest. Guarantee you that's not going to happen. So anyway, I represented myself pro se. I was arrested May of 2021. I represented myself. I did not hire an attorney at the time. I didn't hire an attorney for this whole case. I have an attorney for my Danbury case that will be going to trial very soon. Danbury, Connecticut, another very corrupt town. So stay tuned for updates on that. I have an attorney for my Berwyn, Illinois arrest. But for this one, I wanted to see if I could do it by myself, because at first I didn't even have the funds, to be honest with you guys. So I'm like, I'm going to represent myself. My first step was to file a motion to return seized property. Judge Schwartz, he says, I'm arguing my motion in front of him, saying, now listen to this, guys. Doesn't this make sense? I said, Your Honor, you already have the contents of my phone. You signed a warrant to invade my privacy and download my entire business cell phone. Second, you copied my entire SD card from my GoPro. You signed a warrant and gave the Waterbury Police Department access to do that. What do you need the physical phone and the GoPro for? So he says, okay, I said, I need it. It's part of my business. You'll be hurting my business. I need my property back. He says, okay, we're going to allow the state to respond and see about why they need your actual phone and GoPro. So fast forward to my next court date. I went and I said, Your Honor, can we speak about my motion to return seized property? He says, I already ruled on that. I got the court transcripts. He never did. And he just made it seem in open court, lying, that he ruled on my motion to return seized property. Can you believe that? He lied and said, I already ruled on it. I already denied it. So that's why for 11 months, I have been deprived of my personal property, my business property that I use to run my business. Deprived of it for 11 months. 11 months. Let that sink into all of you. Complete retaliation, that's excessive. There's no way. And then for the judge to lie and say, I already denied your motion when he never did, and he never let me do it. I tried to file an amended motion. He wouldn't rule on that either. So eventually, fast forward, I filed a motion to dismiss based on subject matter jurisdiction. So what that basically is, and all these documents, all my motions are on longislandaudit.com, just in case you want to read them for yourselves, right? So what I did was I filed a motion to dismiss based on subject matter jurisdiction, which I was asserting to the court that the Waterbury Police Department did not have jurisdiction on federal property at that particular post office. So I wrote my motion to dismiss. He basically said, it wasn't, he's like, can you expand on it? First, guys, he says, I'm going to deny your motion. You did a very good job. Just to show you the inner workings of the courtroom, I want to explain this to you. He says, Mr. Reyes, you did a very good job, but you didn't get me all the way there. You didn't prove your motion to me. I'm going to deny it. I immediately said, excuse me, Judge. The burden of proof is not on a defendant on a subject matter jurisdiction motion to dismiss. The judge in this case did not even know the law. The burden of proof on a subject matter jurisdiction motion to dismiss is on the plaintiff, aka the state. They have to prove jurisdiction. That's the way the law works. So he denied my motion. I brought this up to him. He said, we're going to take a 5-minute recess. He goes back into chambers. He comes out and he says, Mr. Reyes, you're right. The burden of proof is on the state. I'm not going to rule on your motion. I'm going to give the state more time. Of course, instead of just granting my motion right there and then last year, I'm going to give the state more time to file additional memorandums to prove that they have jurisdiction. Okay, fine. This time, and during this, guys, I'm going back and forth from Long Island to Waterbury, which is about a 3-hour drive, more with traffic. completely wasting all these are this is all going to be in the damages in my lawsuit, my federal lawsuit. But so basically he gives I go back and orders. I go back to court and he says, I know how I'm going to rule on this case. Mr. Reyes, you did a great job. He even suggested I should go to law school. So he said, Mr. Reyes, you did a good job on your motion and arguing it. You know, I know how I'm going to rule. I'm giving the state till January 11th of 2022 to change my mind. The state never filed a motion, an additional memorandum to change his mind, his words. So I'm waiting. March 30th, he files this decision. That's the backstory. So just so you guys get it. So this was filed, as you guys can see, March 30th. This is the state of Connecticut versus Sean Paul Reyes. This is memorandum motion to dismiss. The defendant, Sean Paul Reyes, was arrested for videotaping the interior of the Waterbury Post Office located on 135 Grand Street in Waterbury, Connecticut. The post office sits on land owned by the United States, not the state of Connecticut. The defendant was charged with criminal trespass in the first degree in violation of General Statutes 53A-107. The defendant moves to dismiss this matter because the Superior Court lacks concurrent jurisdiction over it. The defendant claims that the federal court have exclusive jurisdiction over it. For the reasons discussed below, the state has failed to meet its burden of proving the Superior Court has concurrent jurisdiction to prosecute this matter. Accordingly, this case is dismissed. Guys, when I got this in an email, I was going crazy. Accordingly, this case is dismissed. I couldn't believe it, guys. It was like Christmas. It was Christmas in early April when I finally got this. But it was Christmas in early April. I thought it might have been an April Fool's joke. But so basically he goes into this decision is on longislandaudit.com. I'm not going to read the entire thing to you guys, but I'm going to read the important parts. So this is the factual background. The defendant, and I just want to make it clear for everybody watching, I was going up against me. For all of you haters and bootlickers and you guys that just are sheep to the government and you think the government is perfect and you think police officers are gods and everything, you know, for all of you out there that doubted me and wished jail on me, and I'm not a bad person. Like, you wished jail on me. You wished, you know, me being taken away from my family for no reason. Look at me now. So, and this is the first win. There's 2 more to come. So stay tuned. I know you guys love to watch me. So this is the factual background. I was going up against a senior state's attorney. His name is David Gulick. Senior state's attorney. He hated me. He treated me very horribly the whole time, condescending. You know, I wish you guys could have been there in court. He was yelling at me, Your Honor. He was going crazy. But anyway, factual background. The defendant was arrested at the post office on May 19, 2021 by the Waterbury Police Department. According to the case incident report dated May 29th, he approached the clerk's office at the post office, reached his hand under the protective glass. Not true. Again, lies by a public servant on an official document, which is a crime, and started using his cell phone to videotape the interior of the post office. He gave no other reason for being at the post office. When the clerk asked him to stop videotaping and leave the premises, he declared that he was exercising his First Amendment rights. 100% I did. After asking 3 times, the police were called. The defendant again explained to the police that he was exercising his First Amendment rights and that he has a right to record per instructions posted at the post office. And then they listed the Poster 7 rules and regulations for conduct on postal property. The defendant claimed that he was a member of a news agency. Yeah, it's called Long Island Audit Inc. But when police asked for his credentials, he argued that such a question was unconstitutional and declined to produce any credentials. After the police asked the defendant to leave the premises, he refused, and he was arrested for criminal trespass in the first degree in violation of General Statutes 53A-107. Now, criminal trespass in the first degree comes with up to a year in jail. Crazy. The defendant filed his motion dated July 21st, 2021. The state filed an objection dated, all these motions are on my website, dated August 27, 2021. Given the lack of detail in the defendant's motion, the court suggested to the self-represented party that he file a supporting memorandum prior to the hearing date, which was scheduled for December 8th, 2021. On day prior to the hearing date, the defendant filed his memorandum in support of the defendant's motion to dismiss, dated December 7th, 2021. The court heard oral argument on December 8th, 2021. Since the state had no opportunity to draft a response to the defendant's memorandum, the court gave the state until January 11th, 2022 to file a responsive pleading. By email dated January 12th, 2022, the state informed the court that it would not be filing a response pleading. However, a few days after the deadline, the state received a letter dated January 14th, 2022 from the United States Postal Inspection Service, which subsequently forwarded to the court. The post office letter states, so they got a letter from the postal inspectors of the United States Post Office, which is the law enforcement division. In this case, the Postal Service facility located at 135 Grand Street was originally built around 1930 under the predecessor Post Office Department, which appears to have taken possession of the land in 1903, where the property has been held by the United States government under a grant of exclusive jurisdiction, and no action has been taken by the United States to retrocede the jurisdiction to the state. The post office remains an exclusive federal enclave. Game over right there. So he goes on to talk about different case law that supports this. But there's basically, if we go down here, there's basically two prongs that the state would have to prove. And again, this is good for, any of you doing auditing, just factual information. There's two prongs that the state has to prove. One, hold on, let's go down here. Two prerequisites must be satisfied before the vesting of an exclusive jurisdiction over such land. One, the state in which the lands are located must consent to relinquish its presumed concurrent jurisdiction. And two, the United States must accept exclusive jurisdiction. Absent both prongs being satisfied, concurrent jurisdiction is retained by the state. So absent those elements, what this means is, absent those elements, the state and the federal government have what's called concurrent jurisdiction, meaning that the state can enforce state law on the federal property or the federal enclave. As for the first prong, Connecticut has consented to the acquisition of the land by the United States for the above named purposes, namely post offices, and has ceded exclusive jurisdiction over such lands to the United States. And that's listed in General Statutes 48-1. As for the second prong, for lands purchased prior, now pay attention, for lands purchased prior to February 1st, 1940, the United States is presumed to have accepted exclusive jurisdiction. For all lands acquired by the United States after February 1st, 1940, Congress has required that a federal official file with the governor of the state in which lands are located a notice of acceptance of jurisdiction, either exclusive, partial, over the lands, and in the absence of such notice, it shall be conclusively presumed that no such jurisdiction has been accepted. And then he lists different case law. Connecticut and the United States would possess concurrent jurisdiction. In the present case, my case, there is no dispute that prong one is satisfied. Indeed, pursuant to General Statutes 48-1, Connecticut has consented to the acquisition of the post office by the United States and has ceded exclusive jurisdiction over such lands to the United States. Accordingly, this case comes down to prong two, whether the United States has properly accepted exclusive jurisdiction over the post office. To answer this question, we must know when the post office was purchased by the United States. If it was purchased before February 1st, 1940, exclusive jurisdiction is presumed, and the state has no concurrent jurisdiction, and the case is dismissed. If it was purchased after February 1st, 1940, concurrent jurisdiction is presumed, absent the filing of a notice of acceptance by the United States over it. At the hearings of this matter, neither party submitted documentation regarding the date of the notice or the notice of acceptance. The only facts presently before the court regarding the purchase date derived from the post office letter, where the United States acknowledges that it took possession of the land in 1903 and constructed the post office in or about 1930. Accordingly, this court finds that the post office was purchased prior to February 1st, 1940. Thus, the federal courts possess exclusive jurisdiction over all criminal prosecutions occurring at the post office, like the present matter. Since both prongs of the exclusive jurisdiction analysis are satisfied, the court finds that the state has failed to meet its burden. Accordingly, this case is dismissed for lack of jurisdiction by the court, Honorable Joseph B. Schwartz. And then right here, he has a footnote on the motion he never ruled on. The defendant filed its motion for return of seized property dated May 25th. May 25th. I was arrested May 19th. I filed a motion to return seized property 4 days later. 6 days later, in which he requests the return of his cell phone and GoPro camera. Since the case is dismissed, those items should be returned to their rightful owner. End of story. We the people, we won. Now it's time to file a federal lawsuit for wrongful arrest and also deprivation of my property. You kept my personal and business property away from me for 11 months. You copied it. You invaded my privacy. It's insane, guys. It's insane. But at the end of the day, 11 months later, after fighting so hard, we the people won. And now we will take them to federal court. I'm in the process right now of finding an attorney to represent me in a federal lawsuit. So if you know any attorneys, please let me know. Or if you're an attorney, let me know, because I've been calling around, and a lot of attorneys, guys, we don't sue the government. We don't sue the police. I used to do that. I don't do that anymore. A bunch of, round and round I go, making phone calls, trying to find somebody who's willing to fight for the United States Constitution, who's willing to fight in the name of justice. This is malicious prosecution. Okay, this is malicious prosecution. This is a wrongful arrest. And this is the state stole my property without cause for 11 months and kept it from me. Insane, which affected not only my business income, I was humiliated. I had to sit in a jail cell. This is a strong case. It's been dismissed. I shared on my community feed that the Supreme Court just ruled, and it's making it easier to sue for malicious prosecution and wrongful arrest based on the charges being dropped. Well, in this case, it was dismissed by the judge. Again, I was up against a senior state's attorney. Everybody who said, the client who has a law, if you represent yourself, right, you're supposed to be a fool. If you talk about your case, I talked about this case plenty. If you talk about your case, you're a fool. If you represent yourself, you're a fool. This right here proves that you can do it on your own. It's possible. Again, it depends on the circumstances, right? It depends on the circumstances, because my other two cases, I have, I have attorneys. So I'm not saying to never get an attorney. It's very important to get an attorney when it is needed. But I did this case pro se and won. Case dismissed. I'm very proud of that fact. And I couldn't have done it without all of your support. Your support means everything to me. We are a team. We the people. On top of the lawsuit I'll be filing against the state of Connecticut and the Waterbury, the city of Waterbury and the Waterbury Police Department, I will also be filing a federal tort claim against the United States Postal Service for lying in a police report in order for me. And as a result of those lies, I was arrested and lost my property and, had to go through all this, driving back and forth to Connecticut. It's ridiculous, guys. But I'm so excited. That's why I have a big smile on my face. The video. Everybody wants to know about the video, right? So the arrest video, I don't have it. I haven't been able to pick it up because from the Waterbury Police Department, haven't been able to pick it up. I'm actually in Kentucky right now and shooting some videos, doing some audits, holding the government accountable as usual. But as soon as I get back, I will be picking up my cell phone and my GoPro, and I'll be posting the video for you guys to see. And then I want you guys to note when you watch the video, see if I put my hand behind the counter underneath glass, as the postal supervisor said. Not true. Never happened. Can't wait to share with you all the video. Please stay tuned, subscribe, hit the notification bell, because that video is coming really, really soon. I'm super excited about it. Also, I'm getting a GoPro 8 Black. I'm getting my GoPro 8 Black, returned to me. I already have bought since, another GoPro. I don't need it anymore, so I'll be giving it away. I'm going to give it away to one of the people. All you have to do to enter in is hit the like button on this video, share this video, and comment down below, not in the chat. I see everybody in the chat right now, not in the chat, on the static video. So when this video goes static, comment down below anything you want, like this video and share this video, and I will be giving away the GoPro 8 Black that was sitting in a evidence locker for 11 months. So I guess it has some sort of, history to it. It's been sitting in the Waterbury Police Department for the last 11 months. So I guess that's take with that what you will. But I'll be giving it away to one of you guys. You want to increase your chances to win, go grab a sticker on Long Island or at that store, or, one of these hoodies, a hat, that will just increase your chances to win. But you don't have to do that at all. But I appreciate you guys' support. Let me look at some of the chat real quick. Let me see. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you. I am very happy. I was jumping up and down when I got this email. I was so happy. I couldn't wait to share it with all of you. But because I was traveling and everything, I got my setup right here in my hotel room. I brought all my equipment with me, so I was able to get it done. Really appreciate you guys watching on Facebook and YouTube. Also, again, if you're watching on Facebook, my only official Facebook is Long Island Audit Inc. Only official Facebook. If you're following any other Facebook page, unfollow that page, report the page, and follow me on Long Island Audit Inc. Really appreciate you guys. Starting to pick up a lot of steam over there. All right, guys. Well, I've been talking for 33 minutes. I'm super excited. I can't wait to file the federal lawsuit. Stay tuned. Again, stay tuned for the arrest video. It should be coming next week, early next week. I'll be dropping that. And then also, there's other good videos on that phone that I had. So there was some good ones on there. So stay tuned for those. And like I said, like, share, comment on this video, and I'll be giving away the GoPro 8 Black. Nothing's wrong with it. I just bought it. It was brand new at the time. And, other than the fact it was sitting for 11 months. But I really appreciate you guys. I see you guys in the chat with recommending civil rights attorneys. I really appreciate that. I'm looking for a good one to represent me in this case. It's a slam dunk case. As far as Brian Fahey goes, I do have an attorney that's looking into filing that lawsuit, the Connecticut State Police lawsuit, where I was detained at the airport. And then Sergeant Brian Fahey went crazy. It's a lot, guys. I'm juggling different lawsuits, different criminal cases, but stay tuned to the channel, and I will definitely keep you guys all updated. I promise. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. As always, stay safe. God bless. I'll see you in the next video. Long Island Audit.